Hey guys, today is December 7th, 2012, and while a lot of crazy things have been happening in my life lately, I don't want to talk about any of those crazy things because otherwise I'm going to start shouting and throwing things. So I'm going to talk about something else, something completely unrelated to anything that has taken place in my life thus far, and I've decided to talk about this. I know a lot of other people have talked about this issue, and so I'm going to go ahead and throw my collective hat in the ring, jump on the collective bandwagon, and so on and so forth. And it's this. Lately, I have noticed a lot of growing animosity between different fandoms. And it mostly started out when a well-known comic book artist decided he'd go on a drunken rant bashing all female cosplayers, just essentially. Not just, comic book cosplayers, but cosplayers in general. And then this whole fake fan title popped up. And it doesn't just apply to girls who happen to like comic books and the kind of animosity they face, because believe me, that's a real issue. And I have been in some of those situations where I have to stand up and defend my nerd cred against really stupid guys. But I've noticed it take place just in fandoms in general, and regardless of gender. And I feel that there is no such thing as a fake fan. There are varying levels of fanaticism, but at the end of the day, we're all geeks, we're all nerds, we're all fans. We all generally like the same things, and we're all outliers. So why should we call anyone a fake fan? Just because they happen to like to dress up in skimpy cosplay. Just because they happen to like a show for reasons you might find dubious. Just because, well, they're new. So I ask all of fandom, all of nerddom, this. Why can't we all just get along? Like I have mentioned 3 seconds ago, we are all outliers. We have all been in that position where we have been bullied and made fun of for the things that we like and love. So why do we have to have inner fandom hate? Why do we have to have nerd wars? Why do we even have to have flame wars? Can't we all just agree that our opinions are valid, though you may not agree with some other people's opinions? They have a right to have them. And it also does not matter how long someone has been in a fandom. That does not give you nerd cred. Yes, you may have read everything. You may have read all the works of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle from cover to cover. You may have read every comic that Marvel has ever produced. You may have watched every episode of Star Trek from beginning to end, or you could have read The Hobbit over 500 times within your lifetime. All of these things are well and good, but that does not give you the right to badmouth, bash, and degrade others just because they have not reached your level of fanaticism. At last time I checked, there was no test for fandom. You did not have to pass an exam in order to be taken seriously, and you shouldn't have to defend your nerd cred when talking about other things. Because believe me, ladies and gentlemen, all elitists were newbies at one point in time. And frankly, I feel that elitism is stupid and petty. And we should not also degrade someone for their reasons of entering a fandom. The fact that they're willing to branch out and explore new things is wonderful, and that should be encouraged. So we should not shout at a Sherlock fangirl for saying the only reason she's going to the Star Trek movie is because Benedict Cumberbatch is the villain. I will admit, that is the only reason I'm going to go see the Star Trek movie, because frankly, Star Trek does not appeal to me that much. But the fact that an actor I like and appreciate is going to be in that movie has allowed me to see and open my horizons, broaden my horizons, to see what Star Trek's really about and give it a better chance. So that will be my gateway into this fandom. I may not take place in it, but you should not degrade me or anyone else for that exact reason. And while I have loved The Hobbit since I first read it, and I have read all of Tolkien's work, it was basically the thing that got me through junior high school, and like many other a Tolkien fan, I have waited 10 years for the Hobbit movie. But the fact that both Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman are in The Hobbit, and Peter Jackson made it, just makes everything so much sweeter. So we should not shout at other fans for their crossovers. Yeah, some of it's a bit odd, but they have a right to those crossovers. They can do what they want, and we can either appreciate it or ignore it, but we should not shout at them and call them stupid because they have decided to appreciate something we love in a different manner. That's why we're all fans. That's the point of fandom, so that we can appreciate it. and we can, well, squee over it. Because if you decide to bash someone for their way of liking things and call them a fake fan, that makes you just as bad as those people who you encountered in high school and growing up, who called you a geek, who called you a nerd, who called you weird because you happen to like these things, because you happen to be more intelligent than the average human being. And let's not continue that cycle of hate. Because I may have already said this, but Elise had to start somewhere. And they were all, one point in time, a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed newbie. So I say to you, nerdkind, embrace your fellow fan. For we have to stand together against the armies of mass human stupidity. And that's all I have to say on the matter. That there's no such thing as a fake fan. And we all appreciate pretty much the same things. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it here because I have well blown past my 3-minute mark, and I will see you guys later.